This week on Horse of the West, the best little derby in the West from Nampa, Idaho. Big time competition.
That was absolutely a rush.
With a small town attitude.
It feels like family here.
And 10 lucky riders in each of the rookie, primetime, and novice horse divisions get a chance at big prizes in the big arena.
It's like the cherry on top of a sundae, right?
We'll also learn about the new PB Fit Ride and Slide, a chance for reiners in the Northwest to earn some serious cash.
We're always looking to think outside the box.
Plus Dr. Joe Carter and Your Horse Inside and Out, sponsored by Behringer Ingelheim.
We're going to talk about angular limb deformity.
That's all in this week's episode of Horse of the West. Welcome to the Ford Idaho Center in Nampa, home of the Great Western Reining Horse Association Best Little Derby in the West. They may call this a little derby, but it is big on heart.
It's always friendly. It feels like family here. Everybody's cheering for each other.
Bub Poplin came 9 hours from Colorado to compete in this event run by popular show manager George King.
I love coming up here. He puts on such a great horse show, and just when you think he can't get any better, he'll top it and add something else, and his payouts are just amazing. You never have to really go to dinner because, well, all draw parties and everything, you're always fed. So it's just a wonderful place to come show.
I love that they focus on the little kids. You know, I have two boys and they're here and I have no idea where they are, but they are safe, and there's TV going on, there's popcorn, there's pizza, there's ice cream socials. They just love it. It really truly is a family friendly event.
While this event may feel tight-knit, it is hardly accurate to call it little anymore. This year, all 588 stalls at the Ford Idaho Center are full.
Almost 1,300 runs that we did. 1,300 runs through here. It's crazy.
Recognizing that a lot of people in any horse show will leave without a big check, show manager George King aims to make it a blast for everyone who attends, both inside and outside the show pen.
I'll have trainers calling saying, well, I'm bringing a bunch of new people. You're going to have a bunch of activities planned all through the week, aren't you? Because that's what we're coming for. And of course we do. We've got something going on pretty near every night. And if people aren't going to have a fun time showing their horses here, they're going to go buy snowmobiles or boats or whatever else. And so we've always looked at it as our job is to make sure that when they leave here, they're leaving with a smile on their face. Win, lose, draw, it doesn't matter.
As usual, the Best Little Derby in the West has a new offering. In 2024, it's the PB Fit Ride and Slide Spectacular Qualifier. The top 8 riders in this qualifier will earn a ticket to the Ride and Slide in October.
To enter that one in October, $0 entry fee, $0 judges fee. You've already qualified, you're in there. And you get to go run for $30,000. Guaranteed winner, $10,000 to the winner. And I think second place gets $6 and third place is like $4. Everybody's gonna get a paycheck.
This concept comes from new reiner Stephen Richards, founder of Better Body Foods that produces PB Fit all-natural peanut butter powder. Stephen rides with NRHA professional Nathan Ivey, and he caught the Run for a Million bug, wanted to sponsor a high-paying event for riders in the Northwest.
So we got to talking with Nathan, and Nathan, fortunately, he said, you know, if we're gonna do that, we need to get a hold of George and talk to the Great Western Reining Horse Association and get a part of what they're doing. And we're always looking to think outside the box. So, you know what, we talked, had a few conversations, and said, you know what, yeah, we can make this work. And so he's excited, and we're excited.
So let's start with the Open Derby and find out who'll earn the championship here, as well as who's going to make it to the PB Fit Ride and Slide in October. Matt McDowell of Enterprise, Oregon won big with Extra Voodoo Doctor here in Nampa at last year's Low Roller Reining Classic Futurity. This is a son of $4 million sire Shiner's Voodoo Doctor, owned by Mona Bodnas. They slide into a big old 227.5, topping their winning score at the Low Roller Futurity by half a point.
That was absolutely a rush, an amazing feeling to have a run like that. It was just the funnest thing in the world. I was relaxed, and gosh, as the whole pattern went on, I just got more excited, tried to keep my cool, but man, he was hooked up and did it. He's just like that. If he's on, he's on, and then some days you just got to say, well, he just wasn't quite on there. But this thing keeps you humble, and it keeps you, and that's why you appreciate those runs more than anything in the world, because you don't know when they're going to come along.
Now here's Devin Warren of Elizabeth, Colorado, riding a homebred horse named Gold Checks Dreams out of Wisme Gold. the mare that's already produced 2 generations of horses for the Warrens. Devon and Gold Check Stream score a 221 to slide in behind Bub and Bambi. Devon didn't enter Gold Check Streams in the PB Fit qualifier, but he's happy his wife had the good sense to enter one of his other mounts.
That would have been another $1,500 I would have gotten today. I'm like, Dad, come on, Devin, get a little smarter. Thank goodness my wife entered this one. She was the smartest one of the two.
Jordan McBurney of Arlington, Washington is riding Scott Detro's Chick on the Town, a 2017 mare by Gunners Tinseltown out of Sugar Plum Chick. This team is also entered in the PB Fit qualifier. They score another 221.5. So far, Matt McDowell's 227.5 is unbeaten, but Devin Warren's back again to challenge that lead on Better Late Than Never, a horse his son Gavin usually rides.
For once, instead of Gavin stealing my horses, Mom said, hey, why don't you steal his horse and take it up to Idaho and let's see what you can do.
Devin and Better Late Than Never earn a 219 from the judges. When we come back, we'll meet a horse doing double duty in the Open and Non-Pro Derbies. What's the secret to sharing a horse with your wife?
Give her a good sense of humor and go show her.
And a stallion born in Argentina who's more of an eater than a lover.
You can put a mare and a bale of hay in front of him, he'll go to the hay.
That's all coming up. Don't ride off.
Go to virtualhorsehelp.com for interviews and insights from top reining and reined cow horse professionals, and to worldwideslide.com for bi-weekly news coverage of reining around the world, both with completely free access online. Come ride with Virtual Horse Help and Worldwide Slide.
NRHA Reiner Magazine, the official publication of the National Reining Horse Association, filled with industry news, along with training tips, in-depth features, and horse health info. Read online at nrha.com. Welcome back to Horse of the West from the Ford Idaho Center in Nampa. It's the Great Western Reining Horse Association Best Little Derby in the West. Matt McDowell and Extra Voodoo Doctor have been in the lead since early in the draw with a big 227.5. Let's find out if that lead is gonna hold. Imported from Argentina, here's DC, the Master Spark, aka Sparky, by Steppin' on Sparks out of Master Enterprise. This stud won the reining futurity in Argentina before making the trip to the States to train with Hubert Hula of British Columbia, Canada.
He is probably one of the most personable horses I've ever been around. Like, he is such a friendly horse. He's really smart, and I think he's half human. Like, just the way he acts, he's very food motivated. Like, I mean, you can put a mare and a bale of hay in front of him, he'll go to the hay. The kids can lead him around, and my kids can ride him, and he just goes to the horse show, does his thing, and goes home.
Here at the Best Little Derby in the West, Sparky does his thing for a score of 221.5. Next up, Jackson Porth of Idaho Falls on his wife's horse, Gonna Be Expensive, by $11 million sire Gonna Trasha, out of the Porth's mare Wizen Starlight. The Porths have already had significant success with this homebred mare nicknamed Callie, including a co-championship here in Nampa at the Knockout and an NRHA World Championship.
She's been special to our family. We raised her, and she's just been a show horse from day one, and so honest and so good in the pen. Her biggest deal is just keep her quiet. She's broken up. If you want to go out and get the maneuvers big before you go in, she's gonna not be very good. She knows her job. You just got to keep her quiet and get her warmed up, get her captured mentally, give her a good sense of humor, and go show her. You just got to feed her a carrot and keep her happy.
A score of 225 puts Jackson and Callie in second behind Matt McDowell and Extra Voodoo Doctor, but has them leading the PB Fit qualifier. If they can stay in the top 8, they will be entered in the $30,000 PB Fit Ride and Slide here coming up in October.
You know, it's going to be a hoot. It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, it gives people an opportunity to kind of get out of the traditional classes and go do something fun, you know, and not the traditional classes are fun, but it'll be a lot of fun.
With Matt McDowell and Extra Voodoo Doctor still leading, the last rider we're going to see is Matt McDowell. This time he's on Katrina Macon's Gunner in the Night by $7 million sire Gunner Special Night out of Chick-O-Lena Whiz.
I'm so thankful for the Georgia shows here. For us to travel clear to the south for money, for big money classes is really tough. And there is no way I was on a few of the top 20 riders lists during the year last year. I ended up top 33 in the world standings last year and the end of the year. But I could not do it without these 3 shows, this one, the TKO and the low roller.
Having set a tough score for himself to beat, Matt and Gunner in the Night end up with a 220 from the judges. He will still be the champion of the Open Derby, though, with Extra Voodoo Doctor.
When I watched this when I was a kid, I dreamed of that I could do this. Like I dreamed I could someday make a run like that. I wasn't talented, I was self-taught. I was the most fast-handed, worst rider you ever seen, and I just have worked really hard at it. So I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for my family, I'm thankful for all our clients. It's just a blessing. I just feel really blessed today.
When we come back, we'll catch the non-pro derby,
These are top dogs and people that I look up to.
including a horse we've already seen in the Open.
She knows that I'm her person, you know?
We'll be right back with more Horse of the West. Your Horse Inside and Out with Dr. Joe Carter is sponsored by Boehringer Ingelheim.
Angular limb deformity is a very common deformity that foals are born with, where their legs aren't quite as straight as you'd like them to be. Now the deformity can sometimes go to the inside. That's called a varus deformity or internal inside deformity, or if they go out, and that's called a valgus deformity. There can be strict angulation, meaning it just goes down and goes out, or it can also rotate. You can have a rotational aspect to it where they're actually toeing in or toeing out, you know. Those are all kind of separate little components to angular limb deformity. You know, we look at this foal right here and you drop a plumb line right down the middle of the forearm, coming from the point of the shoulder to the knee. At this point you can see that the leg goes out. So this is a valgus lateral deformity. Now sometimes these will start to correct on their own, and you kind of balance, you know, how much exercise. Sometimes more exercise stimulates them to straighten, sometimes too much exercise makes them worse. So you have to balance, you know, between time in the stall and time in the turnout to do that. There's also considerable different types of surgeries that you do to speed up the growth or slow down the growth on the inside, speed up the growth on the outside. One procedure is called periosteal stripping, where you go in there and you stimulate the lining over the bone just above the growth plate at the bottom, at the top of the knee. That's called periosteal stripping. There's also procedures where you bridge the growth plate. It's called physeal bridging. You can do it with a screw or screws and wires. You can talk to your veterinarian about that. But angular limb deformity is a common thing in foals. If you have any questions, contact your local veterinarian. I'm Dr. Joe Carter with Your Horse Inside and Out.
Before making any decisions about your horse's health, be sure to consult with your veterinarian. Your Horse Inside and Out with Dr. Joe Carter is brought to you by the Boehringer Ingelheim portfolio of joint health products, giving horses the freedom to move. Explore the comprehensive collection of brands at bi-animalhealth.com. You're watching Horse of the West on RFD TV.
Seriously, little one.
Oklahoma Equine Hospital, now with standing MRI, magnetic resonance imaging without anesthesia.
It's very easy to use on the horse. You walk them into the room and then let the machine do its work. Safe, easy, accurate way to diagnose lameness, and it's a huge asset to the performance horse. It's a game changer in the performance horse industry.
Oklahoma Equine Hospital with standing MRI off I-35 south of Norman, Oklahoma.
Welcome back to Horse of the West from the Ford Idaho Center in Nampa. It's the Great Western Reining Horse Association Best Little Derby in the West. We've seen the open riders. Here are the non-pros, starting with Ashley Weaver of Morgan, Utah. She's riding the mare she calls Pickles, aka Platinum Per Se by Platinum Vintage out of Starlight Per Se, a mare Ashley also showed.
You know, I had a little bit of a spicy pickle today. I got through it. I was happy with her.
Ashley says that while her mare may not be the flashiest, she makes up for it with grit.
You know, you're never gonna pick her out of the warm-up pen. She's not for everyone, but I'm just had to learn to ride what I have. I try to get her turned, I try to get her stopped.
She's going to be upright, and I just have to not look down and just roll with it.
It's safe to say Ashley showed off her mare successfully in the 2023 show season. The pair earned 2 NRHA World Championship titles and a third-place finish. Here in Nampa, Ashley and Pickles earned a 2:17. Now here's Mason McDowell, son of NRHA professional Matt McDowell, riding Extra Forget About It, a daughter of $1 Million sire HF Mobster out of Lena's Wizabelle. She's called Tesla for her distinctive blaze. These two earned the Novice Horse Non-Pro Level 1 World Championship in 2023.
She's a sweetheart. She'll never say no, and she's very lazy, and I like the lazy ones. I don't like having to worry about taking off or anything, so we just fit each other really well in that aspect, and if she's confident and happy going around, then she's good, and I'm probably better at making sure one's confident and happy than sparking them up, so we fit each other really well from that aspect.
Mason and Tesla beat Ashley and Pickles' score by 2 points with a 2:19. Next up, Lindsay Lee Kovic of Hillsboro, Oregon, riding a gelding named HF Whizzed in Your Trash.
He's a quirky little guy, typical gonna trash you, real feely, but you know, he's super sweet. He's like a little puppy at home. Like he's wonderful. So I really, really enjoy him.
Lindsay Lee Kovic and HF Whizzed in Your Trash slide into a score of 2:19. Stephanie Porth of Idaho Falls is making her run on a mare we have met already, Gonna Be Expensive, aka Callie. Although Stephanie shares the mare with her husband Jackson, Callie's hers.
She loves me. I take good care of her, and she knows that I'm her person, you know. I try to keep her pretty happy throughout the whole week. I've turned her out a lot, taken her for walks, and just I haven't rode her except this morning for the entire time we were here. She is the kind of horse too that she'll eat anything. So I keep her happy I've gone through 2 bags of carrots at this place.
Callie and Stephanie put down another big run here in the non-pro and take over the lead with a strong 2:24. Tara Eady of Buell, Idaho is riding a mare named Abby's Trashy Alley.
I also was in a super exciting set. I knew I had Ashley Weaver, then Mason. I went to a thing with John Maxwell, and he said, at least once a year, put yourself in a room with people better than you. And that's what it felt like. Like, okay, these are top dogs and people that I look up to. I'm gonna put myself in the same room, and I was inspired by their runs, and I was like, you know what, we're just gonna go for it, and it was fun.
Tara and Allie earn a 2:16 from the judges to tie for 4th with Lindsay Lee Kovic, with one final rider to go. Stephanie and Callie's 2:24 is still unmatched, but here's Jenna Kelmer of Battleground, Washington, wife of NRHA professional Kyle Kelmer, on Extra Ice Wimpy.
I trust him so much that I just go have fun, which doesn't happen often to have one like that. He's the most fun horse I've ever had. Yeah, he's my pet. He would live in the house if Kyle would let me. My kids ride him. My daughter showed him earlier in the rookie.
Jenna and her pet mark a 2:19.5, which will earn them the reserve championship here at the Best Little Derby in the West Non-Pro. But our winning duo will be Stephanie and Gonna Be Expensive, aka Callie. When we come back, we'll see the action from the clean slate shootouts for the top 10 riders in the Primetime, Novice Horse Open Level 3, and Rookie.
Having all these big prizes and having everybody supporting me is really cool.
Plus, a rider had to face one of his fears to come show in Nampa.
It's my first time. Okay. Because I'm scared of the snow.
Stay tuned for more Horse of the West. Be right back.
Reining horses, they're like nothing you've ever seen. But you gotta know what you're looking at. Like that right there, we call that a rollback. This right here, now that's a turn. And this right here, well, that's how you can get a little something like this right here. NRHA, this right here is reining. Woo!
Welcome back to Horse of the West, coming to you from Nampa, Idaho. The Clean Slate Rookie Shootout has been a staple of the Best Little Derby in the West for years, offering the chance for the top 10 rookies at the show to run in the big arena for some serious prizes. No other scores are accounted for. The rider with the top mark in the shootout takes home the gold. This year, the Best Little Derby expanded its shootout offerings to more than just the rookies at the suggestion of the show manager's daughter.
My daughter Stephanie, she's kind of in charge of putting all the awards together, and she says, you know what, let's mix that up. Let's do something different. Let's put those saddles out there somewhere for other people to get. So we went, well, okay, what are we going to do? Well, we already do the Rookie 2 shootout and give out a saddle for that, top 10 finishers. She says, let's grab another couple classes. And so she come up with the Novice Horse Open Level 3 and the Prime Time. I tell you what, people were very excited about it. It was a new line of adrenaline, and it was like, it was way cool.
Riding Catherine Olson's Millionaire by NRHA Hall of Fame stallion Spook's Got a Whiz out of Miff's Doll, Eric Laporte scored a 219 to win the saddle in the Novice Horse Open Level 3 shootout, a great reward for braving the snow to get here.
It's my first time.
Oh.
Okay. Because I'm scared of the snow. All right. I come from south of France and I live in Northern California. All my friends told me, you should come to this show. It's a great show. I'm like, I wish I would, but I'm afraid to go over Donner Pass and the snow. I finally had Millionaire. I wanted to see what he was going to do before to make the decision to go to the NRHA Derby in Oklahoma City. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to come.
And you can bet he's glad he did. Originally from Belgium, Keanu DePauw won the rookie shootout with a 16-year-old called Hotw by Tidal Wave Jack out of Wata Sunrise. Keanu's family has owned this horse for 10 years, so they obviously have a long history together. This horse has been around the block, actually around the world, starting with a reserve championship in the NRBC Open under $5 million rider Craig Smersall, before winning 3 world championships with $2 million rider Bernard Fonck of Belgium.
Very sweet, such a nice personality. Definitely for a stud, he's one of the sweetest boys out there. I really love that horse.
Keanu and Hotw win the rookie shootout with a 216 from the judges. McKenna Sparrow's our reserve champion in the rookie, scoring a 213.5 with the horse she only started riding a few weeks ago. Here's Pretty Has Cash by $2 million sire Little Joe Cash out of Pretty Whiz, Pretty Does.
He really likes bananas. He loves bananas. He'll do anything for a banana. But he doesn't really like anybody to come into his stall, but he's let me come into his stall and snuggle with him, so it's been really cool.
And now here's somebody you will certainly recognize, George King, the show manager, riding another 16-year-old. This is a gelding by $4 million sire Walla Walla Whiz out of She's a Stylin' Chick. The horse technically belongs to George's 8-year-old grandson, who between school, soccer, and baseball doesn't have much time for riding these days.
And I think what happened is that my daughter and son-in-law had enough horses to ride, so they convinced me that I ought to be riding that horse, 3 or 4 times a week. So I've been over riding him, and they said, well, why don't you go show him? Well, and I think it was also a ploy, because it's been 5 years since I've been in the show pen, and I have been having a ball, because he is just such a fun horse to get out there and go, and he's just so lovable and very talented, and so I've had a lot of fun.
George and Walla's Wiley Whiz score a 214 to win the primetime shootout for riders 50 and over. Diane Stewart and 11-year-old Sparky Tinseltown by NRHA $3 million sire Hollywood's Tinseltown out of She's a Shining Spark were a close second with a 213.
I told my trainer, Nathan Ken, I said, my goal this week is to make it to the primetime shootout. And so when we made it, I was like, you know what, tonight is let's just have a blast. We're just gonna go out there and have a great time and just enjoy the crowd. And it's like the cherry on top of a sundae, right?
Be sure to watch in the weeks ahead for coverage of the Better Barrel Racers World Finals from Oklahoma City. Then we're off to the National Rein Cowhorse Association Western Derby in Scottsdale. I'm Jennifer Reynolds. We'll see you next time on Horse of the West.